Hi, and welcome to my short presentation today about holistic iridology, discovering what your eyes reveal. My name is Jane Smolnik. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm also a diplomat in holistic iridology with ultimatehealing.com. So I wanted to show you a little bit about what your eyes reveal and what can be seen in iridology on a clinical level. First of all, I studied with the International Institute of Iridology with Dr. David Pesek. And I also used to help travel and teach with Dr. Pesek in some of the advanced classes as time went on. Also, I was a member of the International College of Iridology, and I was the vice president of the American College of Iridology for a period of time. I also was on the board of the International Iridology Practitioners Association, and I was also the editor for a period of time for the International Iridology Research Journal. So I've had a lot of background in history for the last 20 years with iridology. And in my practice, I use a microscope with a digital camera to take photographs of the eyes and do a detailed assessment. So your eyes are actually the windows to the soul. And of course, you've heard this many times before. Every eye is completely unique. Even identical twins have some differences in their eyes. For everyone in the world, you are perfect just the way you are. Your eye is what I consider your universal blueprint. The pattern in your eye will never change. That will always stay the same while you're in this particular body. Levels of congestion, toxicity, accumulations can change. So iridology analysis actually reveals levels of health, inflammation, toxicity, and degeneration in the human body. Iridology is amazing. It provides a painless and very economical means of assessing the body for early detection of health imbalances. It is invaluable for preventive health care. The iris is connected to every organ and tissue in the body by way of the blood, the brain and the nervous system and the biochemistry. It is in direct contact with the bioenergetic, biochemical, structural, hormonal, and metabolic processes of the body by way of the nerves, blood vessels, muscle fibers, and lymph glands. Each eye gives us different information. Your left eye correlates with the left side of your body and the right side of the brain, which is the feminine, creative, conceptual side and intuitive side of us. It also gives us information about your feminine genetic patterns, such as from your mother's side of the family. The right eye corresponds to the right side of the body, and the left side of the brain, which is really considered your analytical, business, practical thinking, linear, masculine side, as well as your paternal genetic influences. This is a chart of holistic iridology by David Pesek, who was one of my teachers. He's an excellent teacher. And I'll show you a couple of different charts. There's many charts from different iridologists from around the world, and they basically all point to the same things. What we'll see is the brain area up above. It's a little bit slightly pink here. It tells us information about the brain. We look at the organs and parts of the body around. I'll show you once we get into looking at pictures of the eyes. And then we have the autonomic nervous system in the central location here and the nutritive digestive zone. Here's another iridology chart developed by Bernard Jensen, but also with a lot of revisions by Ellen Jensen, who teaches iridology out in California. So what can be seen in the eyes? A person's genetic predisposition to health and disease. So the general constitution and the state of your organs, tissues, and glands. So did you have genetically strong particular organs and glands that we're looking at? Or, such as in this picture, did you have a number of genetic weaknesses that really need a lot more nutrients, attention, and care to stay strong and healthy? Digestive and assimilation difficulties. How well are you digesting your foods? How well you're assimilating your nutrients, your minerals? Levels of toxicity, congestion, and accumulations in the body, and what types? The effects of stress in the body and how it's impacting our health as well. And thought and emotional patterns, personality patterns are seen in the eyes, and also deeper soul level issues. This is what I see in the eyes as well with a number of my schools and training. Thoughts and emotions can be seen in the eyes. Letting go of anger, fear, resentments, control issues, having too little or too much control, the emotions of grief, despair, and unhappiness can be seen. Heart walls protecting ourselves from betrayal, woundedness, hurt. These can even be inherited patterns. Holding on to old hurts, toxic emotions, processing old grief, old woundedness, feeling unsupported, whether it's emotionally unsupported or physically unsupported, having a difficult time with that. Feeling stuck, limited, can't see a way out. There's a number of different emotions and thoughts, that particular patterns that are we all have strengths and challenges, but we all have struggles as well. And these are the ones that you're working through in this lifetime in order to heal and master them. So what are soul level issues? These are transforming our challenges, our difficulties, our negatives into strengthening our virtues in life. This is the way I look at it. Basically, we all come into this lifetime with strengths, as well as we all have difficulties and challenges to work through. Things like unity and connection to others, connection to divine source would be considered a virtue. Vision, being able to open our third eye, see the big picture, listen to our intuitive self, our inner guidance system. Integrity, expressing and living truthfully, honestly, being authentic with ourselves. And by the way, these are all related to the chakras as well as the organs in the body. Compassion for ourselves, for others. Joy, opening the heart, transforming grief, finding more joy in our lives. Deep trust. This is a deep soul level issue for many of us on many levels. Letting go of fears. What deep trust means is, how well do you trust yourself? How well do you trust the people closest to you? How deeply do you trust your community, your society? How much do you trust nature? How much do you trust that you have gifts and abilities and a purpose here in order to contribute? How much do you trust your divine creator? All those can be really enhanced and deepened over time. Every single one of us can go deeper with these. Balance, learning how to stay centered and balanced in our lives, not being pulled off center, learning to maintain that. And support, emotionally and physically supporting ourselves, as well as we may be supporting others, but knowing that we have to strengthen and support ourselves. So these are what I call some of the deeper issues. So let me explain a few things. There are 3 true eye colors. Lymphatic is considered the technical name for a true blue eye. There's really 3 true eye colors: true blue, true brown, and a genetic mix. So hematogenic is a true brown eye. That's a deep, dark, chocolatey brown. You don't see any other color. Okay? And then anything in between is what we call biliary. It's a mixed eye color, what most people consider hazel, green, mixed eye color. And those can vary tremendously. That means you have a mixture of both blue and brown-eyed ancestry. Here's just an idea. I had labeled this particular eye. What you'll see up at the top is tendency for poor cerebral circulation. It kind of fades out there. Lymphatic congestion can be seen in this eye. Thyroid being underactive. The bronchus is quite weak here. So somebody might have more respiratory problems. There's an over-acid tendency in the body. There's a lot of accumulation of acids on the fiber tissue here. There's a genetic weakness here in the pancreas, and this little orange pigment here tells me that there's poor digestion of carbohydrates. There are some stress and tension rings. The body is trying to figure out ways to transfer buildup of excess energy. And there's also underactive skin elimination. Your skin is one of your largest organs that helps us to eliminate toxins and congestion. So here is, I'm going to go over a few different eyes here. This is a light brown eye. Cholesterol, you can see a cholesterol, that whitish ring around the outer side here. This is actually not directly on the iris, but it's inside the cornea. It's a buildup of accumulation, which says there's inorganic sodium or cholesterol buildup being held in the body. Also, you see the fuzziness at the top area here. This tells me that there's poor cerebral circulation. This is an inherited influence. The heart has a genetic weakness over on the side. There's a tendency for sinus congestion, leaky gut, and even some negative self-talk. There's a lot of strength and powerful parts to this as well. This person is probably a very deep thinker, very strong, analytical, makes a great business career type person as well. Here, this is a mixed eye color, biliary eye. This is someone, if you see the rings going around the outside, these are called stress and tension rings. So this is usually seen in a strong constitution. This tells me there's an increased need for B vitamins in particular. And the body is also trying to find ways to channel out excess energy buildup. So that's something I usually talk about. There's a liver weakness going on over here on the right side, probably about 8 o'clock. And congestion, I see liver congestion, this fatty buildup in the sclera here, tells me there's poor digestion of animal fats. Pituitary gland is sufficient or is insufficient, is hypoactive, and a beautiful, strong, active brain area. So that's just a few things I'm seeing here. Here's a beautiful eye that actually has poor fat digestion. There's a fatty buildup. This is called a pinguicula, which is over in the sclera, the whites of the eye, over by 9 o'clock there, that big fatty blob. Also, I see plaque buildup, cholesterol buildup, acid buildup. Poor carbohydrate digestion is happening, low stomach acid, and poor cerebral circulation. Here's a mixed eye color, biliary eye. This person has more hormonal challenges. The endocrine system all the way around, almost all the endocrine glands seem to be a little bit insufficient, including the adrenals and the pituitary. Blood sugar metabolism is probably a difficulty for this person. Adrenal and liver weakness is also showing up. This particular eye is absolutely beautiful, beautiful strong fiber structure, but noticing over about 9 o'clock there's a real weakness in the thyroid area. This is also the throat area. This person may have a beautiful, strong, active brain, but a difficulty expressing how they really feel and what they really need. This is the left eye. This would be more of the feminine side, how you feel about things. Also, I see a tendency for lymphatic congestion, low hydrochloric acid, and the left ovary is also a little bit weak here over about 5 o'clock. This is a beautiful, interesting eye, very colorful, very creative. There's a heavy challenge with yeast, sugars, congestion, poor digestion of carbohydrates. A lot of pancreatic residue can be creating lymphatic congestion, and a low thyroid as well. But other than that, there's a lot of strength behind the scenes here. This is a beautiful eye too. This is a tendency, it's a mixed eye color for hormonal challenges, endocrine challenges. I see adrenal problems, blood sugar issues, liver issues. Hypotonic bowel means the colon has a weak muscle tone, so there's a tendency for congestion and constipation, not eliminating as sufficiently as well. The heart is also a genetic challenge here. I see an increased need for B vitamins. But I also see someone who has a very creative nature about them, as well as someone who makes an excellent teacher or healer, works well with people. They're very compassionate. But they may have a little bit of anger issues around their being able to put their work out into the world in a way that's well accepted. They have to work through some of those challenges. So what can iridology reveal? The primary nutritional needs of the body, the lymphatic system, and congestion in the lymph glands. Inherently weak or inherently strong organs, endocrine glands, and tissues in the body. Thought and emotional patterns, personality patterns are seen. Constitutional strength or weaknesses, the nerve force, the nerve depletion, inherited or internalized stress, I should say, in the body, as well as adrenal function. What organ is in the greatest need of repairing and rebuilding? Poor assimilation of nutrients. The relative amount of toxic settlements in the organs and the tissues, how much toxicity and congestion. Some people, like blue-eyed people, tend to have a little bit more lymphatic and kidney congestion. Brown-eyed people tend to have more cholesterol buildup, thicker blood, circulatory congestion. Where mixed eye color, those hazel eyes, biliary eyes we call them, tend to have a little bit more liver and gallbladder congestion. So the need for rest to build up immunity, circulation level in various organs, buildup of cholesterol and inorganic salts, Location and stages of tissue inflammation, whether they're acute, subacute, chronic, or degenerative. What stage is a particular organ or tissue in? High-risk tissue areas in the body that may lead to disease. Difficulty with digestion of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, sugars. Even poor assimilation of things like minerals, iron can be seen. Buildup of toxic material before the manifestation of disease. Sometimes we can see in the eyes a predisposition 5, 10, even 20 years before something happens where they get symptoms, which is excellent for preventive care because you do not have to manifest anything physically in the body. If you know you have a particular predisposition or weakness early on, then you can totally work on shifting that, supporting it, changing it, cleansing it, whatever it is you need to do to strengthen that area and avoid something coming up down the road. Spasms, strictures, irritations, pockets, diverticuli, or ballooning of the bowel. Result of physical or mental fatigue or stress. Poor absorption of calcium and minerals, like I said, including iron. Pressure on the heart, venous congestion, congestion in the veins or arteries. Sluggishness of the bowel, poor muscle tone of the bowel. Hyperactivity or hypoactivity of the organs, as well as the endocrine glands. The need for acidophilus in the bowel and the colon. Okay, how are the Peyer's patches? How's your immune system? Tissue areas contributing to suppressed or buried symptoms. The need for hydrochloric acid, pepsin, pancreatin, digestive enzymes, the digestive juices. Predisposition for heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancers, arthritis, and things like that can be prevented and avoided if you know ahead of time. You know, we have parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, many generations back on both our paternal and maternal side, mother's and father's side. But it doesn't mean we inherit everything. We look at the eyes to see, well, what is it that you inherited from which side that you're here to work on? Okay, prolapse or spasms in the colon, nervous condition or inflammation of the bowel. And let's talk about sclerology for a little bit. That's the whites of the eyes. I photograph the 4 quadrants of the eyes as well. That gives us more immediate information regarding current pathology and conditions in the body. Healing signs will show up first in the sclera, which is why quality photograph records are important for comparisons. Varying levels of congestion, arterial buildup, fatty buildup, the immune system being compromised, encapsulation or tumors forming, microbial, parasitic, fungal problems, even viral infection pockets, injuries, surgery marks. All these things are seen in the whites of the eyes. If there's been a blow to the head, if there's been something removed surgically, such as if you had your appendix removed or your gallbladder removed, things like that. It doesn't show up actually in the iris, it shows up in the whites. Tissue hardening. This shows up in the whites as well. Drug settlement in organs or insufficiency in organ function and many other signs. Imbalances in the meridian energy register in the sclera as well. So how well is the energy flowing to different areas of the body? Serious warning signs can be seen before the symptoms become manifest, which is why I keep saying it's invaluable for preventive health care, and it's actually very cost effective. Here's a couple of pictures of the sclera of the eye. This is a beautiful, strong constitution with a lymphatic blue eye, but there's some congestion in the veins here, cardiovascular system. There's also some fatty buildup right here, poor digestion of fats, and something that's going on here. I'd like to see where this line leads to because it's creating a compromised immune system as well. This particular eye has a lot of congestion in it. I see a tendency for some yeast congestion. There is congestion going over toward the pancreas, the emotional liver in the body, in the colon area as well. There's a lot of emotional stress going on for this particular person and cholesterol buildup. Here, I see a closed infection pocket, which tells me that there's like a dormant viral infection held in the body, which I see all the time. For years, I've been seeing this. It can be a dormant Epstein-Barr virus, herpes virus, a number of different viruses that are held in the body that can come out and become very active when you've either occurred a trauma, a stress, an emotional weakness, your immune system is low, when there's a stress and a weakness in the body, that is when it gets signals and indications that it can manifest at that time. So that's good to know so we can actually prepare to cleanse the body out and avoid that. The pupil of your eye can expand to as much as 45% while looking at someone you love. Isn't that beautiful? One of the things that I notice is when the pupil expands, it actually, there's a few different indications. One could be that there's adrenal fatigue and the pupil can't adjust to different levels of light. But sometimes it will also expand, that saying about being wide-eyed is when you're taking in so much information, you're learning so much. I find this is more prone for young people that are learning so much about life. And as people become older and elderly, sometimes what we'll see are the pupils are much more closed down. And it's almost like their little soul is saying, you know what, I've seen enough. I don't really need to see anymore. It's very interesting how the pupil can respond. Also, the pupillary border gives me information about the nervous system, the spinal nerves as well, and digestive information. When you look inside another's eyes and all you see is yourself, because we're all one. So your eyes are absolutely unique and beautiful. People often experience a deeper level of compliance and compassion for their own self after looking so deeply into their eyes. What I do is I like to take usually about 16 photographs with my microscope and my digital camera. It only takes about 5 minutes. And we look at the right and left eye with light from different angles. I zoom in with my microscope on that pupillary border in the digestive zone. And then we look at the 4 quadrants of the whites. And then I download them onto my computer, and we look at your eyes full screen on the computer, and I tell you all the beautiful details, strengths and challenges, and exactly what your body needs to thrive. You'll be inspired to discover your personal keys to empowerment. What is your not only your body, but your emotions, your mind, your soul, what does it need to actually thrive? What are you here mastering in this lifetime? What are your challenges and your stumbling blocks that I can help you be aware of so that you can do what your body needs to be as strong and vibrant and healthy as you can be? Understand what virtues you're here to master and learn what you need to thrive. So holistic iridology is considered the windows to the soul. My name is Jane Smolnik. I'm a naturopathic doctor and iridologist in Asheville, North Carolina. And when I do a detailed comprehensive health analysis, it's a 2-hour session that includes iridology analysis and sclerology, the whites, a biochemistry analysis questionnaire, vital scan, heart rate variability test. I use kinesiology, muscle testing to fine-tune what it is that your body needs that will make it respond the best. And sometimes we go into in other sessions, emotional release work or some spiritual healing work. And I also use quantum light therapy with frequencies to help bring the body back into a balanced, enlivened, energetic state. I also do long distance phone consults. So please visit ultimatehealing.com for more info. And my phone number is 828-777-JANE, which is 5263. So thank you for joining me. I hope you're visiting my website at Ultimate Healing, and I hope you get a chance to come and see me and see all the beautiful details of your particular eyes. Thank you.